Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varisthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. My salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, who has descended on this earth to establish the Dharma, who is the embodiment of all the world religions, and who is the best among the incarnations. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, already we have finished 3 classes on this universal form of Sri Ramakrishna, Khandana, Bhava, Bandhana, which is composed by none other than the illustrious disciple Swami Vivekananda. It is such a beautiful song or a poem where any god, any goddesses, or any incarnation, or any prophet can be fit in with the words. So we were able to discuss 2 paras or 4 lines. Now we shall go to the 3rd para, 5th line. Bhaswara, Bhava sagara, cira Unmada, prema pathar. Bhaswara means you are the embodiment of knowledge. You are the embodiment of divine knowledge. Bha means light. Bha means knowledge. So you are the embodiment of light. You are the embodiment of divine knowledge. And you are the bestower of the divine knowledge. We can also think that. Bhava sagara, ocean of resplendent emotions. And cira Unmada, you are ever intoxicated. Prema pathar. Pathar means sea, ocean. Ocean of love. Let us try to understand these things a bit more. Bhaswara is the knowledge incarnate, is the embodiment of knowledge, is the embodiment of light, is the bestower of the divine knowledge or the supreme knowledge. Sri Ramakrishna or Buddha or the Jesus or any other God, when you think, you will be able to see many incidents in their life. For example, even at the physical level, a devotee who brought the lamp in the evening, and when they kept near the Sri Ramakrishna's body, physical body, there was no shadow at all. See, for example, when you bring a light, my hand in front of light, you are able to see a shadow. That is quite common. There is also a very vague, dim shadow of my body because of the light. But when the lamp was brought near Sri Ramakrishna's body, there was no shadow at all. Why? Because he is God incarnate. Any incarnation, any god or goddesses, they will have never shadows. That is one of the signs that they are incarnations, they are divine, they are God incarnate. And in same thing we can see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. So he is the God incarnate. The God descended on this earth to remove the sufferings of us at the physical level. And if you see at the philosophical level also, for him, the world was never true. For him, the world was always appearance. And for him, the God alone was true. That's why he was obsessed with God realization. He didn't realize God only from one religion, from one path, or from one sect. In Hinduism itself, there are so many sects, so many types of sadhanas. He tried to practice all types of sadhanas. Not only Hinduism, Islam and Christianity also he practiced, and he reached the God. Why? He was obsessed with the God. Because God alone is real, all other is illusory or appearance. He was very well aware. So he is the embodiment of knowledge, Jnana Swarupi. And the author of gospel, that is Mahendranath Gupta, once he told with him, look, if this world is a true, if the world was true, I would have covered my birthplace with the golden sheet or with the golden covering. What does it mean? So the mystics or the prophets or the incarnations, all of them, they use a figurative language. So what does it mean? Here we should understand that the world is an appearance, world is not true. Now it's the greatest Advaita Vedantic, non-dualistic philosophical truth. How to understand this? For example, we go near ocean, and we were sitting on the bank of the ocean, and we are enjoying beautiful ocean. What a beautiful ocean. By looking at it, we feel so happy and blissful. Our stress gets free. And there's a huge, waves are rising and again going out. And we are saying, look, such a huge wave. Look, there is a medium-sized wave. And someone says, look, there are so small, tiny waves. Fine. There were different size, different length, different breadth or height waves were there. We were all enjoying it. And one old man, a wise man, a person who has got a philosophical outlook, he was also sitting. And when we were talking, he was also nodding his head. After some time, he made us to think, or he questioned us, look, you were describing how waves were beautiful, attractive, and different type of waves according to the size and length or whatnot. Now you tell me, the waves and the ocean are one and the same, are different. Then we will start scratching our head. Waves are different from the ocean, are one and the same. Then slowly after thinking, we say, no, the waves are part of ocean. Fine. If the ocean doesn't exist, can wave exist? No. Fine. So first, waves are separate, ocean is separate, we were thinking. Then slowly, when we start thinking, we understand ocean and the waves are part and parcel. They have got to coexist together. Then when we ask, the philosopher or the wise man ask us to think, we'll come to know that the ocean or the water in the ocean is appearing. He has taken the form of the wave. He took the birth, and again it subsided in the ocean itself. So the water took a particular form, and again that form got subsided, died out. So basically, because the water took a particular form, we call by the name wave, that's all. So the name and form are illusory. The ocean water is appearing as waves, that's all. Because of cold, the ocean water gets condensed and it appears as an ice. So does ice and the ocean water are two different things? No. It is the ocean water is appearing as ice, the ocean waters is appearing as a wave. So similarly, the self or the consciousness is appearing as this world. But before understanding this, for us, ocean and waves both were different. When we understand the philosophy, the truth behind it, the water of the ocean is appearing as a wave. So this is what knowledge. So this is what Sri Ramakrishna mean when the world, if it were untrue, I would have covered it with the golden covering. Means for him, it knew that God and self or consciousness alone exist. The matter is an appearance. And today, the modern physicists, who are the three physicists who got the Nobel Prize in 2022, they also accept that the world is an appearance. It is not true. So he had that knowledge. That's why he's called Bhaswara, or the embodiment of knowledge. So similarly, with any god and goddesses or incarnations and prophets, this will be same. And Bhava sagara. Bhava sagara means ocean of resplendent emotions. Bhava means emotion. Sometimes I'm angry, that is also emotion. Sometimes I'm happy, it is an emotion. Sometimes I'm feeling that, oh, God is real and I should more and more meditate, I should think of God, or I should, try to practice the remembrance of God. Most of the times it is emotion. And sometimes I'm stressed because of some emotions. And at the same time, I am thinking that I am the servant of the God. That is also an emotion. I am the friend of God, or God is my friend. That is also one more emotion. Or God is my father, God is my mother, God is my friend. That is also different type of emotions. So the emotions can be positive, the emotions can be negative. I'm angry on someone. I want to see that I will pull his leg. I will see that he should get destroyed because of vengeance or because of jealousy or because of whatnot. So that is also emotions. Negative emotions, it drains out our energy. Positive emotions, it builds our energy, builds our life. So when we say Bhaswara, Bhava sagara, ocean of resplendent emotions, it signifies that he is the ocean of different types of positive emotions, divine emotions. It is not only physical or materialistic, it is with the divine. Because sometimes you used to think as God is a servant of God, as a friend of God, is the son of God, or is the, wife of God. Like different bhavas, different emotions, Sri Ramakrishna used to think, and in that particular mode of emotion, he used to practice devotional practice, and used to realize God, used to experience the God. So there are 19 different type of emotions, which is called Mahabhava, greatest bhava, greatest emotion. That in the whole religious history, we see only 3 people. One is Sri Ramakrishna, the second is Radha, the great devotee of Krishna. That is the third is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was one of the greatest saint or prophet or incarnation of India. So these 3 people had that manifestation of this Mahabhava. Sri Ramakrishna was also one among them. So Bhava Sagara is a very important word. For an example, we also have got different type of bhavas. Someone has got, I am great, none is equal to me, ahankara bhava, egoistic mood, many of them has. And sometimes people will have that obsessed with the desires. So many type of desires is covered their mind. So their mind is always intoxicated with materialistic desires. That can be mood. Someone is always at the intellectual mood. Someone is at the spiritual mood, divine mood. Whereas Sri Ramakrishna had always divine mood. Different types of divine moods Sri Ramakrishna had. And in the great master, Sri Ramakrishna, the great master, very beautifully, Swami Sharadanji discusses different types of bhavas, moods, how Sri Ramakrishna had. And also, if you see, Sri Ramakrishna, when he used to go to the particular mood, his body and mind is to take completely that form. For an example, there is a bhava called dasya bhava, like servant-master relationship. The best example is Hanuman. Hanuman is a servant and used to think his master, Sri Rama, as his master. And used to worship him, used to adore him, used to serve him and whatnot. Now, many of the spiritual saints, they have taken this bhava, a special divine mood, and they have practiced and they have attained the God, they have experienced the God, they have realized the divine or supreme self. Now, Sri Ramakrishna also took this bhava, took this mood. He mentally, he didn't think only mentally, physically also he started thinking. He started behaving like a monkey. He started living on the tree. He started wearing the cloth just like a monkey, like off cloth, from the waist to till the knees. And just like monkeys, they keep on flapping the eyes. They also, he started blinking the eyes so many times. And his mind and body was so much absorbed in that Dasyava was so much so, he himself, narrates that at that time, my backbone spine at the bottom, there was an ejection like a tile. We all know that monkeys have a tile. So, but whereas we started from monkeys and we have become human beings, we have lost the tile. Monkeys still, they have got a tile. And while Sri Ramakrishna practicing Dasya Bhava, he had that, manifestation of that bhava so much so intense, even there was a small ejection where it was like a tile. When he withdrew that bhava, slowly that ejection also withdrew into the body. When we hear such type of incidents, we feel probably it is imagination. Or maybe someone has exaggerated things. No. Shri Krishna says, Yad bhavam tad bhavati. As you think, so you become. We can see very clearly in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Means whatever bhava he took, he immersed completely in that bhava, in that mood completely. His body, mind, senses, intellect, ideas, everything is to cover with that mood. So he used to totally complete 100% absorption. So how one can be successful in spiritual life or in materialistic life when we completely dedicate ourselves 100%? For us, Sri Ramakrishna can be one of the best example how one can dedicate his life, his body and mind for that particular sadhana, and one can realize God. Complete absorption, complete dedication, completely body and physically and mentally. So Bhaswara, Bhava sagara, is an ocean of resplendent emotions. So different type of bhavas he had. And that's the reason after doing so many type of spiritual practices, finally he gave a statement or teaching that as many faiths, so many paths. There are different type of sects, different type of religions, different type of thinking. All of them directly or indirectly, it leads to the divine. As many faiths, so many paths. What beautiful idea. What grand idea. If every one of us we can understand and put into practice, then there will be no clashes between religions. There will be no clashes between sects. There will be no clashes between countries. There will be no clashes between cultures or civilizations or whatnot. So it is very, very important. And Sri Ramakrishna, he practiced so much so, Mother Kali blessed him saying that, Bhavamukhe tak, you be in Bhavamukha, you be in a transcendental meditation level, or you be in the highest trance level of trance. So 3 times he got that command from the Divine Mother. When we hear all these things, it becomes very mystical for us actually. Sometimes we can't comprehend. So we have to depend on scriptures, we have to depend on teachers, and we have to study deeply their life. Then we'll be able to understand the significance of these statements. Bhaswara, Bhava sagara, prema pathar is the ocean of compassion. Sometimes we are also, ocean of love. Our love is always comparative business. Because I like him, so I love. I like her, so I love. I'm getting benefit from him or her, so I love. The moment I don't get benefit, the moment I feel that there is no use from him or her, my love may stop. Because she or she was helping me, I used to love. They are not helping me. Now I don't love. Rather, they are troubling me. I hate them. So our love, with respect to anyone, it based on so many terms and conditions. It based on so many conditions. It based on so many moods. It based on so many calculations. Whereas with respect to God, with respect to prophet or incarnation, nothing of these things or nothing of that sort is there. Why? Because he doesn't want anything from us. He doesn't expect anything from us. He wants to give. He wants to help us, provided we are sincere. At the most, he expects us from us what? The sincerity. That's all. If that is there, he is ready to help us at any extent or to any cost. For an example, a devotee, he was a doctor by profession. He was practicing Ayurveda, which is one of the Indian medical science, we all know. His name was Dr. Ramachandra Datta. He was one of the accomplished medicine during those times. He came once, Sri Ramakrishna, and he expressed his inability to practice spiritual disciplines. He was, praying, he was pleading Sri Ramakrishna to help. Because of his sincere prayers, once Sri Ramakrishna said, okay, now whatever I have given initiation, I've initiated you into particular mantra, you give me back. Then Ramachandra asked, how can I give you back the mantra? Sri Ramakrishna tested him by his foot and he said, now I am taking back that mantra, and he took it back. Again, it's all mystical, very difficult to understand. And he told to Ramachandra, from today onwards, you need not to do any spiritual practice. Oh, how beautiful. Then Ramachandra asked, then what should I do? He said, try to lead a pure life as much as possible and keep coming here. That's enough. That was wonderful. So Ramachandra, till his end, he used to try to come to Sri Ramakrishna whenever time permits. And he became one of the greatest spiritual illuminary. He was a realized soul. He experienced the God and he led his life and he ended his life. I mean, when the time came, he departed. See, because of compassion, Sri Ramakrishna, he blessed him so much of his sincerity. He need not to do any practice. No meditation, no fasting, no control of the mind, no control of senses. What a beautiful state, because out of compassion. If God's grace, infinite grace falls upon us, then nothing is required. It doesn't depend on any calculation. That's what we understand. Same thing we can see in the life of Girish Chandra Ghosh. He led the most immoral life. And he abused Sri Ramakrishna. He used a lot of foul language on Sri Ramakrishna. But because of his sincerity or something, Sri Ramakrishna, out of compassion, he graced him so much. I mean, Girish Chandra Ghosh's life got changed. He became one of the ardent devotee, or the greatest devotee. And again, he realized God, or he experienced God. That's why he's saying, Swami Vivekananda is telling him, oh, he's an ocean of compassion. When the Christ was crucified, when he was on the cross, what did he say? Oh Lord, oh God, these people, they're ignorant. They're not aware what they're doing. Please forgive them. If someone would have been, they would have cursed, they would have cried, they would have scolded and whatnot. But even at that final time where he had a lot of physical suffering, Christ, when he was getting crucified also, he prayed for the benefit of the people. He prayed for the forgiveness of the people. What a compassion. Even Buddha also. He dedicated his life for the betterment of the society or betterment of the humankind because of compassion. They didn't have anything to achieve. They didn't have anything to gain. They didn't have anything to get from the people. Just because of love, because of compassion, they helped the humankind. The same thing we can see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, out of love, he helped his own teachers like Bhairavi Brahmini, Totapuri. Their realization, their understanding God and religion became complete when they came to Sri Ramakrishna to teach. So similarly, if you can see, we all, to some extent, we have come to God. Because why? Because of his compassion. Many times when we think deeply, I don't think I'm fit enough to come near God or to lead this life. Because out of compassion, out of God's compassion, I'm able to take this spiritual path. I'm able to remember God. I'm able to go near God. That is, we have come near him. That itself is one of the biggest sign of compassion, his compassion. And there's a beautiful story also in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Once, I mean, a person who was by faith is a Muslim. He was in India. He comes from a poor background. With a difficulty, he was leading his life. He has just a thatched hut. Suddenly, once there was a fire catch and fire accident, and the whole house got burnt. He had just few pennies. Somehow he was able to manage his life, and the whole house has been burnt. I mean, he didn't have anything to do. He had to suffer and he had to struggle, and somehow he had to, face his life with very hardships, whole of his family. Then slowly, every penny somehow they used to squeeze themselves, their expenses, and they try to build once more the thatched hut after a year. But again, after a year, again there was a fire accident, and again the house turned into ashes. There was so much inscrutable pain, agony, worry, whatnot. You can imagine, very well we can imagine. Then again, they had to struggle a lot. They were crying bitterly. What we have done, what crime, what sin, what evil we have done. Why God is so cruel on us. Why this bad thing is happening again and again on us. They were thinking time and again. They were praying to God. They were thinking why it is happening to them. And again, they were struggling. Somehow after a year or two, somehow they were able to manage a thatched hut again. The third time, unfortunately, again his house met with fire accident. This time his heart was shattered into pieces. He was so much down physically, mentally. He never had any more energy to build the house. He was thinking the whole life has become such a burden. He was thinking to end his life. He was in such a helpless condition. And he was unable to think what to do further. That time, when Sri Ramakrishna he was passing through in that same road, someone said, look, there's a great saint by name Sri Ramakrishna is going. Why don't you go and approach him? And why don't you receive his blessings or ask him to do something? Then this fellow said, look, I'm a Muslim and looks like he's a Hindu. Will he help me? First and foremost, because I'm Muslim and he's a Hindu. Second thing, I don't know him and he doesn't know me. Do you think that because I pray or I ask, does he help? Second thing. Third thing, even if I go and ask, what shall I ask? In what way shall I ask? Or what will he give? Such questions he was asking to his neighbor. He said, fool, saints doesn't have any differences. You go and ask, I've got this problem, kindly help me. Let us see how God helps, how saint helps. We don't know God, he helps through these saints. Then, but out of, there was no other go. Somehow out of reluctance, this Muslim fellow, he ran and he called Sri Ramakrishna by name. And Sri Ramakrishna asked the horse carriage person, the person to stop. And he said, and this fellow with crying bitterly, he came and he held the feet of Sri Ramakrishna and he cried. Sri Ramakrishna asked, my dear, what happened? Why are you crying so bitterly? This Muslim fellow, poor fellow, he explained the whole incident. This is what happened. Kindly help me. Then Sri Ramakrishna got down from horse carriage. The Muslim fellow was dumbfounded. Oh, I don't know him who is, and he doesn't know me, who I am. But still, just because I prayed, I asked, I requested, he's coming. There's a great. And with all reverence and respect, he led Sri Ramakrishna to his, the place where the hut was burnt into ashes. And further, Sri Ramakrishna didn't talk anything. Sri Ramakrishna just circumambulated the place 3 times and he left. And this Muslim fellow, poor fellow, he started scratching his head and he didn't tell anything. He didn't give any mantra, or he didn't utter any mantra, and he didn't say anything what will happen. Simply he went and sat with the horse carriage, in the horse carriage, and he said to the person, the driver or whomever to continue the journey. This fellow was unhappy about it initially, and he scolded his neighbor probably. What? He came and he did 3 times, circumambulated, he surrounded 3 times, and he went away. Nothing happened. Then the neighbor said, look, we don't know. Because he listened to your prayer. He came and he circumambulated 3 times, means there should be some reason. So let us see. Why will you think so bad? There may be some reason, or there may be compassion after him as a saint, as a Lord. Some people say that he's a God, he's a prophet, he's an incarnation. Let us see. Let us wait. Though out of reluctance, he kept quiet and said, okay, there is no other go, I have to accept it. He accepted. Then finally, again, he worked hard, and with God's grace, he got a good job, and probably he got money, and he was able to build his hut to a certain extent in a similar way. And for his astonishment, nothing happened afterwards. Till end of his life, he passed away. Again, his children, they lived in that same house, and their conditions also became better, and there was no fire accident at all. So his son also had heard the same story from his father, and he was grateful to Sri Ramakrishna. Because of his infinite grace, because of his infinite love and compassion towards us, that's how our house was taken care, and our parents were taken care by his infinite grace. Now you see, for these gods and incarnations and prophets, they don't have any difference between religions. Only we have got that. I'm Muslim, or you're a Christian, I'm a Sikh, a Hindu, or whatnot. But these people, they don't have any differences. They don't discriminate. Whoever is sincere, whoever they approach the God bestows their prayer, answers their prayer out of love and out of compassion. Even you can see in the Ramayana, we all know it's the life of Rama and Sita. When Sita was kidnapped by Ravana. So we all know that story. Rama went in search of Sita for 6-7 months. He was grief-stricken because he had lost his wife. Then finally he came to know that it was kidnapped by Ravana, and they built a bridge from the India to Sri Lanka, and they went. In 6-7 months, he was grief-stricken, and they took a lot of pain to build a bridge, and they entered Sri Lanka. They landed in Sri Lanka. Even at that juncture, imagine someone has kidnapped my wife, and if I see him such person, what will I do? I will slap him, I will beat him black and blue, I will kill him, or I will, see that his life will be ruined, isn't it? That's a common phenomenon which we see or which we think. But in the case of Sri Rama, it was not so. Even at that juncture, he sends his ambassador, his messenger, that look, even now, if you accept your mistake or you return the Sita, Mother Sita to Rama, Rama will forgive your mistake and he will go back without doing any fight or without doing any war doing war against you. Even at that juncture, Rama was full of so much love and compassion because he had such a pure mind, so highest mind. He never had any vengeance. He never had any hatred towards Ravana. He sent a messenger. But Ravana didn't understand. Ravana thought probably it is the weak mind of Rama, and Rama is getting perturbed or feared because of Ravana and Ravana's capacity, thinking that he makes fun of it, and he sends a messenger saying that, no, I will not. Finally, the war happens and Ravana gets killed. So even at that juncture, Rama was compassionate enough. Same thing we can see in the life of Krishna and in all the greatest people we can see, even in the Buddha. Angulimala wanted to kill him. Or even Buddha's his own monastic disciple wanted to kill Buddha, but still out of love, out of compassion, he accepted all of them. So, prema, pathar, ocean of love. Then the next line is what? Bhaktarjana, yugala, charana, tarana, bhavapar. Whoever takes refuge at the feet of the Lord, at the feet of the God, at the feet of the Supreme Self, what happens? They will get over, or they will cross over this ocean of samsara, that is the cycle of birth and death. Is full of compassion. If we take shelter at his holy feet, at his holy lotus feet, what happens? We can cross over this ocean of cycle and birth, over this ocean of samsara, which is one of the difficultest thing. Because why we want to be happy? Because that is our nature. How can attain our peace? How can we attain the everlasting bliss? How can we be free from all the sorrows, all the difficulties? How can we be free from all sorrows, and how can we be happy and blissful at all times? It is by knowing oneself or by realizing God. Now, whoever takes refuge at the Lord's feet, he or she is taken care by the Lord. The same idea has been given very clearly by Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratteya mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. This whole world of Maya is created by me, which is made of trigunas, no doubt. One who takes shelter at me, at my feet, I will help them to cross over this samsara, the cycle of birth and death, or cycle of suffering, or whatnot. So, one who takes shelter at the Lord's feet, he will cross us this samsara, that is ocean of cycle of birth and death. So that we can see in very clearly in many people's life. That there was a beautiful story of a scavenger. A person by name Rasika. He was illiterate. He comes from a poor background, and he never studied any scriptures. He never knew any of them. And he comes from a rural background, poor background. And he used to sweep the Dakshineshwar temple complex. He used to do his work sincerely. After some time, he observed the cream of the society, the so-called intellectuals, solicitors, the judges, then the doctors, and so many greatest people are trying to come and learn few pages of religion, few chapters of religion at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. And also when he started observing Sri Ramakrishna, somehow he felt Sri Ramakrishna is not an ordinary soul. He's not ordinary self. He's something, is God incarnate. Though he had never knew enough scriptures, his heart used to say that he's something God incarnate. He's a saint, he's a spiritual illuminary or whatnot. Then slowly, the devotion started he started getting devotion. He started developing devotion towards Sri Ramakrishna. But he had his own inferiority complex. He comes from rural background, poor background, from the lower caste. So I cannot go inside. I cannot touch him. I cannot talk with him. Such type of prejudice or social customs he had in his mind. So as a result, though he wanted to go and touch the feet of Sri Ramakrishna, he wanted to talk with Sri Ramakrishna, he wanted to listen his immortal words, he never had enough courage to go and do that. Every day he used to sweep the floor of the Dakshineshwar temple complex, and especially wherever the Sri Ramakrishna used to walk, all that places with special care used to clean that, so that there should be not even a twig, a thorn, or a small stone pebble, so that it may prick Sri Ramakrishna and he should not get hurt. So he used to take care so much so that that pathway should be very clean from all the things, so that Sri Ramakrishna should not have any problem. That went on for 2 or 3 years. And he was so much obsessed with Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Ramakrishna's thought. And slowly was thinking Sri Ramakrishna. When he was sweeping the floor of Dakshineshwar, he used to think, Sri Ramakrishna is walking in this floor. Sri Ramakrishna walks on this floor. So let me sweep it properly to the perfection, so that he should not get hurt. So slowly, he was doing the seva or worship of Sri Ramakrishna unknowingly. 2 or 3 years are over. One day he was sweeping at one corner. Sri Ramakrishna just came out from the room and he was about to go to Panchavati. That was a small forest was there next to the Dakshineshwar temple complex. When he saw Sri Ramakrishna, some of that day, that emotions became so much, he was overwhelmed with emotions. He was unable to control himself. No thinking, no discrimination worked, only was filled with emotions and devotion. Simply he went, unknowingly he went, and he caught the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. He caught hold tightly the feet of Sri Ramakrishna, and he started crying profusely. And with the tears, he washed the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. He washed Sri Ramakrishna's feet. Sri Ramakrishna was wonderstruck, dumbfounded. Then I said, Rasik, what happened? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? The Rasik was overwhelmed with his emotion so much so he was unable to control himself. It took some time for him to control and to answer. Then Rasik said, please tell me, what will happen to me? Sri Ramakrishna said, what happened to you? You are doing well, you have got a job, and your family is doing well, isn't it? Then Rasik says, I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking about my life. At the death, what will happen? Or after death, what will happen to me? Sri Ramakrishna said, what will happen? Then Rasik says, please promise me that at the time of death, you will come and you will take me to your abode, to the heaven or to your abode or whatnot. You should promise me that you will come at the time of my death and you will take me, you will hold my hand and you will lead me to your abode. And he prayed and he cried and he requested so sincerely. Sri Ramakrishna said, okay, let it be so. So his prayers were answered. And as we all know that August 16th, 1886, Sri Ramakrishna left his mortal coil. Then by the slowly, this Rasik also had become old man and his physically was not strong enough. So that job was given to his daughter and he took a retirement and he was he was staying in the house. He used to have his food and most of the time he used to think of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna is no more in the physical body or in his mortal coil. After some days, when he came to know that Sri Ramakrishna left his mortal coil, he also started feeling bad about it. Then slowly, one day, he thought that his end has come. He told his family people, today you cook the food early and you have early lunch and don't come near me till I call. The family people felt very strange, but still they listened to him and they had an early lunch and just they were continuing their work. At some point of time, Rasik started shouting, hey, come, Sri Ramakrishna has come, Master has come, Prabhu has come, Lord has come, please come. Everyone, they left their work and they came inside in that small tiny room and they're not seeing anyone. Then they thought probably this old man, because of lack of memory or whatever, because of the old age, is telling something, is uttering something. Then he started telling, are you not able to see? Sri Ramakrishna has come, such a divine form, with full of light. Please put a seat, a mat, asana, so that let him sit here. Though people didn't understand, but because of he was saying, they put the mat. Then tears were rolling down on his cheeks and said, "Oh Lord, you have kept your promise. Finally, you have come. I'm very happy. And I have nothing to do now. I have nothing to achieve. I have done all of my life. I've done my life. I've done with my life. Please take me. I would like to come to your abode." And while telling, the tears were rolling down on his cheeks. And he was seeing and he was feeling, and his face was with full of radiant bliss or peace and the joy. People were able to see that there was so much change on his face. He was with so blissful and joyful, such a joy they had never seen that. And he started saying, "Look, Master has come, Lord has come, and he's taking. Are you not able to see?" They were unable to see. He said, "Bye-bye. I'm going with my Master, with my Lord to his abode. Enough. Thank you for all of you." Say that he thanked his family people, and he's taking the name of the Lord. Sri Ramakrishna, he ended his life. His breath is lost. He stopped breathing. See, this is what I mean, compassion. Sri Ramakrishna was with so much compassion, even such a person who come from a low background, he didn't know anything, but still because of his sincerity, he could get the vision, Lord's vision, and he was able to attain Lord during his end. Like that, we can tell so many stories. Similarly, one more story is there about, a Dakayit, that is a thief. Once, Sri Ramakrishna and Rudairam, his nephew, both were coming from Calcutta to Dakshineshwar. That was a night, there was a complete dark, and next to Dakshineshwar, there was an area called Kosalpur. So that was known for the thieves then. It was full of thieves. That's why after sunset, people never used to travel in that area. Sri Ramakrishna was unaware of somehow, and he was coming. But the horse carriage fellow, he knew it, and he was keeping quiet, and he was feeling so much terrified, and he had a fear. Then when the horse carriage entered Kosalpura, at some point of time, the horse carriage and others, Sri Ramakrishna and Hruday, they heard a very rough voice. "Hey, who is that? Stop the vehicle, stop the horse carriage." The horse carriage fellows felt that, okay, today is my last day, and tomorrow I will not see the sunrise because thieves have come. Then Hruday was not aware. He got down from the horse carriage and said, "Hey, who is that fellow?" Like that. Then one of the thief with his long knife, he kept it near his neck and said, "You want me to talk? You want me to tell? Who are you? Or who am I?" Imagine on the night, dead night, Hruday felt so terrified, so much fearful, and there were no words. And Sri Ramakrishna came out of the horse carriage and he started asking, "Brother, who are you? Why are you doing?" "Oh, we are so-and-so, we were thieves. We want the money, and whatever the gold, money, silver, whatever is there, everything you should give if you want your life. Otherwise, we will kill you." Sri Ramakrishna said, "We don't have anything except 2 rupees 50 paisa, because we have to pay for horse carriage, traveling fees, and that's what. Otherwise, we don't have anything." Then the leader of that thieves group said, "Oh, this is a standard, conversation, standard dialogue, which everyone says that if you want your life, you should give, otherwise we will kill you." Then Sri Ramakrishna said, "Look, we are telling the truth. We don't have any money. You can search us, or you can search the carriage. If anything is there, you can take." They did search, and they didn't find anything except 2.5 rupees. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, "Look, we are telling the truth. If you want money, I stay in Dakshineshwar. I stay in Dakshineshwar in particular place. You can come. I shall arrange to give him." Imagine, he's giving his residential address to the thief. No one does that. When Sri Ramakrishna was in a guileless way, in a simple way, in a truthful way, when he was speaking that, the thief's leader felt that is something different, because no one tells about their own self or their address and all. It's something different. Something is a truthful, looks like. He's a different person, basically. Then the thief, that leader said to others, "Okay, leave away, this fellow doesn't have anything. Looks like he's genuine or something saintly person." Then they were spared, and all of them, they left. And especially Hruday and the horse carriage, the driver, the person who was riding the horse carriage, they felt that their life is protected by Sri Ramakrishna or whatnot, or by God. Then after some days, 2-3 months over, then this thief, 2 or 3 thieves and his leader, they came in a disguised form so that people should not recognize. But somehow Sri Ramakrishna recognized them in the disguised form. Sri Ramakrishna signaled them and called them, come, you are the person. I know that I am the person that day you met us, come. The thieves were really, astonished because they are in disguised form. He could have avoided that he doesn't know anything. But still, he himself went and approached them, and he is calling them, all of them, to his room. And he was called, and the mat was spread, and asked to sit, given water and sweets, prasad, Kali prasad, all were. The thieves got a beautiful treatment, good treatment, and love so much. It was very astonishing and very unusual for them. They took some sweets and water, and they wanted to leave because they had a doubt whether it is a trap or what. Sri Ramakrishna said, look, you are in the safe place. You don't have any problem. Sit calmly and have a prasad or sweets. But still, thieves couldn't believe much. They took some sweets and afterwards said, no, we have got some other people, friends, we would like to share with them, saying that they were about to leave. And imagine, very funny thing is, Sri Ramakrishna said, Arey, that day you wanted money, isn't it? Wait, I will speak with this owner, that Dakshineshwar temple complex owner, by name Mathurnath Vishwas, and I will try to arrange some money and gold or whatnot. Sri Ramakrishna himself is saying as a guileless person. And again, the thieves and his leader, they were astonished to hear this. They said, we will come some other day, saying that they immediately left the room. After some time, again they appeared. They came, Sri Ramakrishna, with so much love and affection, he treated them and he gave sweets and food, whatever is available. And they took it and again they left. After a long time, maybe a year or 2 or 3, they didn't come back. Sri Ramakrishna, one fine day, the leader of that group of thieves, he came with something carrying. Sri Ramakrishna started saying, very interesting, that, oh, I was thinking about you. What happened to you? Why you didn't come for a long time? I was worried about you. Look, someone is worried about thief. It can happen only with the saints and prophets. It is not possible for us. We all pray that, oh, let him not come. But he's praying that, he's thinking that why the thief has not come. The Dakait fellow was moved by his love and said, I don't know, after meeting you, slowly, there was a change in my life. Then I started feeling that whatever I'm doing, it is not right. And I left this robbery, and whole my group has left that. Whatever the work we know, we have started doing our work because I knew some carpentry work. I've become the carpenter, and I'm taking care of myself and my family. And here is a gift, a wooden seat, which you can use for your sitting, saying that he offered that wooden seat for Sri Ramakrishna, and he prayed, please, you accept my humble offering. Sri Ramakrishna gladly accepted and blessed, and that fellow left with becoming a good citizen and leaving all this robbery or whatnot. So this is what compassion. This is what the power of self or spirituality and power of unselfish love. Even the sinner can become the saint. Even the sinner can become the righteous people or the good citizen of the country or whatnot. That's why it's called prema, pathar. And Bhaktarjana yugala. Whoever takes shelter at the Lord's feet, he will be free from the ocean of samsara. You may be sinner, you may be a saint, you may be a monk, or you may be a householder. You may be a business person, you may be a doctor or whatnot. But if you are sincerely you pray to Sri Ramakrishna or any god and goddesses or any prophet and incarnation, and if you take shelter at them, when the divine grace falls upon you, then you'll be free from this ocean of samsara, that is within this transmigratory cycle. So let Sri Ramakrishna or Buddha or Jesus, let them bless all of us so that let us be free from this cycle of birth and death, and let us have the experience of bliss or experience of truth, which is none other than God or Satchidananda. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
No, Swamiji. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pranam, Swamiji.
Namaste.
Pranam, Swamiji. Thank you.
Namaste.
Pranam Maharaj, thank you.
Hey.
Very nice. See you next Thursday.
Yeah.
See you next
Thank you,
Thursday.
Swamiji.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day. Divine dreams.
Thank you.